What's up, y'all? Welcome back. Today we're gonna be watching this video. They talking bad about my quarterback. First of all, you know I don't play. You don't know I don't play with nobody talking bad about the Seahawks, because this is my team. I'm not finna play with you, bro. Like, we've been doing good so many seasons. Give us our credit, especially our quarterback, dude. Like, what? Russell Wilson deserves his credit. I hope I don't get mad at this video, but we're going to jump into this.
Need to know, does Russell Wilson need an MVP to be an all-time great QB?
Absolutely. Now, first thing,
thank you.
Get this out the way, the pleasantries. Russell Wilson, one of the greatest quarterbacks we've seen in this generation, because
Yes.
you know, Marcellus,
Yes.
the hate is coming if you ever dare speak a truth, which does not utterly uplift Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's real.
But does he need an MVP? At least that. Let me make a distinction
Yes.
clear. There is a difference between a Hall of Famer and an all-time great. Russell Wilson, very likely going to be an Hall of Famer. But to be an all-time great, gentlemen, I'm thinking top 5. I'm thinking top 10. And the problem is, to be an all-time great, you have to be great all time. It's simple. Russell Wilson, when I think about the quarterbacks of this generation, Tom Brady, all-time great. You really, it's so complicated, but it's so simple. You got to be great all time. Think about the quarterbacks this generation. Where does Russ fall in? Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers. Then I would probably Ben Roethlisberger, and then I would probably go Russell Wilson. So
Thank you. Put him on the board. Stop playing with him.
He's falling in the mix at 5 or 6 of the generation because he doesn't have an MVP. Because he doesn't have a.
How does he not have an MVP? The boy's been great all the time. Since he started playing quarterback for the Seahawks, which is his whole career in the NFL, he's been phenomenal. Like, come on, stop playing with bro. Like, we should have beat the freaking Patriots. Dumb pass. I don't even want to talk about that. It's going to make me more mad. We won against the Broncos. Trash. We killed them. Eliminated them. We need to go to the Super Bowl this year. I have faith in them. I have faith in them. We got so many weapons this season. It's like, how can we lose? I don't know how we can lose at all, honestly. I don't know how we can.
Super Bowl MVP. You got guys like Patrick Mahomes, mind you, NFL MVPs, Super Bowl MVPs, already in his 3rd year of going on of NFL football. So does Russell Wilson need at least an MVP to be an all-time great? Absolutely. No knock on Russ. Still a Hall of Famer, still elite. But to be an all-time great, you have to be great amongst the all-time ranks. And Russ has to get at least several MVPs, several Super Bowls. It can't. His biggest accomplishment, gentlemen, cannot be going to the Super Bowl his rookie year. There has to be another stamp to make Russ an all-time great.
Look, I don't think he needs it. First of all, look at how high...
Okay, stop. I don't think he needs it, but he deserves it and should have it. He doesn't need it to be great, but he needs it. He needs it in his house. A trophy letting them know he was a MVP.
we have for Russell Wilson without it already. And if he goes out there, imagine if, I love you in fantasy land, Acho. Imagine if he had completed that goal line pass. That's 2 rings. But even without that, still what's in front of Russell Wilson in terms of attempts, opportunities, accomplishments. Yes, he can be an elite all-time quarterback. I think he's already going to be considered an all-time quarterback.
All-time great?
Yes. Nice cherry on
yes.
top. I give you that.
Yes. What's wrong with you, dude?
You talk about who Russell Wilson is.
Stop.
Big Ben Roethlisberger is going to be considered a Hall of Famer. Some will debate if he's going to be an all-time great or just a Hall of Famer.
Absolutely.
But he's going to be in that conversation, and he's never won an MVP.
We don't care about being. Get him out of here.
He's going to be at the bottom of that. He's going to get in the Hall of Fame, but we're not going to consider him probably all-time great. But still another all-time great quarterback Hall of Famer, who will not get an MVP
Two
vote.
Super Bowl MVPs.
Respectful whatever way you get up the mountain, but you got up there, brother. How about Dan Fouts, Bob Greasy, Jim Kelly, Joe Namath, Roger Staubach? A lot of tremendous quarterbacks who never, ever received this award. And let's talk about this award. And this is why I think Russell Wilson needs to respect his road, even if it doesn't consider him an MVP. Hey, I tell the world, if you don't see my stripes, you can't see because they're there. and Russell Wilson, look at these voters. Oh, y'all don't see my stripes? Well, they're there because let's look at Russell Wilson. 2013, 2014, led the Seahawks to the top seed in the NFC. No votes. Also, 2015, finished the year.
They gave him no votes? How you give him no votes, dude? That boy is great. At least one? He didn't get one? Ridiculous, man.
Quarterback rating in the NFL, no votes. 2017 led the NFL in touchdown passes and second in rush yards. Didn't Lamar Jackson basically do that, but was first in rush yards? And Lamar Jackson wins the MVP. Russell Wilson, no MVP votes at all. So maybe it's the vision of the voters that needs to be under the microscope and needs to be considered more so than Russell Wilson and his greatness.
I need to have a conversation with all the voters. They can come meet me. It could be all of them against me because at the end of the day, I don't care who I'm going against. You're going to hear my opinion. It could be 1,000 of y'all. Any, many, miny, mo. I don't care. I'm going to say what I got to say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it real. Give Russell Wilson his MVP. Simple. Simple. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, I think you guys both hit on some great points. I think there's certainly levels to it. I don't think he needs an MVP to be considered an all-time great.
Yeah, he doesn't have to be.
I come back to what you were trying to touch on right there,
you know,
Marcellus, in terms of the voting and how MVPs are looked at. It's more, in a lot of ways, it's a popularity contest. It's like, did you get hot at the right time? You know, we use J.J. Watt as a...
It is a popularity contest. It is. You know. That's with any sport, honestly. Because it's politics. It's politics involved. That's what it is, you know.
As an example all the time, when I look at the greatest defensive lineman of all time, I think about Bruce Smith. I think about Reggie White. I think about Deacon Jones.
Okay.
I think about some really, really phenomenal football players. And then I start thinking about J.J. Watt and a few different guys that may or may not fall into the conversation. And that's with MVP honors. So to me, I think that it kind of comes down to, like what you said, Marcellus, is what those voters are feeling in the moment. You know, T.O. was a first ballot Hall of Famer. There's no way you can argue that. There shouldn't have been a debate about it, and he should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer.
That's a fact.
But for some strange reason, the voters didn't feel as though it was right to put him in as a first ballot Hall of Famer. Harry Carson, same situation. Harry Carson got...
Wait, so at the bottom, I think it says what he said. He said, if I do win MVP, it's because we're going great as a team. That's true. That's true. Can't lie about that. I agree with it.
Point where he didn't even want to go into the Pro Hall of Fame, and he was one of the greats that had ever played the linebacker's position. So when it comes down to things that are based upon a vote, and it's not a vote from the players or the coaches themselves, I tend to go towards, yes, he can still fall in the conversation of greatness, but that is a log jam of a distinction to have at the quarterback position. And I think that that's the biggest counter argument to all of this, is that Russ has played great, but the greatest of all time had played at a level that's different than Russell Wilson's at this moment.
Now, first...
Don't say it like that. Don't say it like that, first of all. He made it seem like he's weak. He's not weak. You know? People might not consider him an all-time great. But in my heart, he knows. It's love. It's love, for real. I support my team. I hope you do too, if you have a team. If you're watching. Oh yeah, if you're watching, comment your favorite team. I want to know who's watching this video and what teams y'all like. Please don't say the Patriots. I don't want to hear that in the comments at all.
Clarify, Russ won that Super Bowl his sophomore season, not his rookie season. But LeVar, to your point, it's like a barbershop conversation, so let's just keep it real. It's levels to greatness in the NFL. First and foremost, just making it to the NFL. More likely to get struck by lightning than you are to make it into the NFL. That's an accomplishment. Now, the average NFL career is 3.3 years. So to play over that, that's another little accomplishment. Then you can be a good NFL player, play 5 or 6 seasons, not make any Pro Bowls, no All-Pros. Then you can be a great NFL player, right?
Thank you.
Make an All-Pro, make a couple
I don't know your name, but thank you.
Then you can be a Hall of Fame type of NFL player. 7, 8, 9 Pro Bowls, 6 All-Pros, 3 first-team All-Pros. But then you can be a all-time great. Several MVPs, multiple Super Bowls, maybe even a Super Bowl MVP or so. Again, Russ is in that tier. He's climbing up that tier.
Hey, bro, I like your posture. You know, you keep it real. I mess with you, you know? I really mess with dude, because he keeping it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Yeah.
Greatness. He is right now in that great category. He's flirting with that Hall of Fame category. I still think there probably needs to be a little bit more length to his career to get that. But when you talk about all-time greats, Marcellus, you can't hand out no participation trophies and just throw everybody in the all-time great conversation, because there are only about 5 or 10 all-time greats. But Marcellus, what is your category? What are your qualifications for all-time greatness?
Bald the hell out, and that's what Russell Wilson does. Listen, is he going to be top 10 all time? He's certainly going to be in that conversation. We know there's about 5 we could just read off that it's a log jam. I don't know if you're going to be able to eclipse those, but
I don't even need to speak. I don't need to speak.
Russell Wilson still has that opportunity, certainly. Let's be real about this. Well, first of all, this is why I don't go to barbershops. 1, because I don't have hair. Because 2,
bro, you bald as heck.
Watch a movie in its entirety and compare it to one that just started or one that's in the middle. I'm not going to do that. I am not that bored. I have 4 kids and 3 of them at home, and they're all under the age of 5. So I am not going to have that long conversation. But Russell Wilson, if he continues with his excellence, is going to put himself in that conversation. That said, what is that conversation and some of the criteria? Oh, you got an MVP vote. Well, Derek Carr got MVP votes, but Phillip Rivers.
Exactly. And Derek Carr is trash. Trash. You heard it first from me. I don't care. Trash, trash, trash. Raiders suck. I'm sorry. Sorry. Did I hurt your feelings? I don't care. It's all about the Seahawks around here. That's all I care about. When the NFL season starts, we're coming for everybody neck in our division. And then when we make it out the division, because you know we are, we're going to the playoffs. And when we get to the playoffs, next, taking them all.
So we don't even need this as a stepping stone to say you're going to be in an all-time great conversation. Let's just be real, because sometimes they give it to guys who deserve it in that moment, but it doesn't really lend itself to their overall success. That said, I want to talk about how we only measure
I like you too.
People fall instead of how far
I mess with you, bro.
How people come up short. Like, they keep moving the goalposts. They keep adding another box. And forget about the road travel for Russell Wilson. Let's not forget that, because of all of his success, it seems like sometimes people forget that this was a third rounder who was there when they had a franchise quarterback. They thought, Matt Flynn, y'all remember that? And
exactly, third round. Look where you're at now. It don't matter where you start.
He became the guy we're seeing right now.
Where you finish at, that matters.
And I never want to forget where he came from in terms of all of the obstacles placed in front of him. And he's still, right now, a topic on this conversation as an all-time great.
Yeah,
you know
you
why?
Got it, Manuel.
You know, look. All I'm saying is the dude's going to be in that conversation, and you have not named 10 guys that already have trumped him.
Marcellus, I think LeVar was funny. I don't take Marcellus as a sentimental type, right? Well, Russell Wilson has accomplished so much maritally, relationally.
It was very sentimental.
It was so lovely. Russell Wilson is an incredible human being, but Marcellus, what I have had to learn is we got to differentiate between the player and the person. You can have an MVP and not be an all-time great. But you can't be an all-time great and not have an MVP.
Let's see.
That's the thing. That is the great distinction. That is the great divide. To LeVar's point, if
That's
you want
true.
to say that J.J. Watt, who has multiple defensive MVPs, isn't an all-time great, okay, your prerogative.
All right.
But you can't be an all-time great and not have an MVP. Marcellus, if you want to talk hoops, whether Jordan, whether Kobe, whether LeBron, whether Kareem,
Yep.
these are guys that have MVPs to their name. They were at least the best at what they did when they did
Speaking
it.
facts.
But Russ, first he had Manning and he had Brady, Roethlisberger.
Some of y'all might want to tune in to what he's saying.
Patrick Mahomes. If you can never look at Russ and say you were the best quarterback in the NFL for one season, I don't know that you can say you were an all-time great. Not saying you weren't great, but all-time great, that's a whole nother distinction that is hard to sniff.
You compare basketball to football when fewer players on the court, more impact. You can go both ways, but hey, I'll let you be the analyst you want to be.
Exactly. Alright, y'all. Hope you enjoyed this video. It's called Speak for Yourself. I'm going to have to watch a few more of the videos. They're kind of funny. But like this video if you enjoyed it. Subscribe for more content. I shoot out videos every day at 1 p.m. Alright, y'all. Peace.